Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live. This is episode 169, and my guest this evening is the beautiful and talented singer-songwriter Lola Vialet. She is from Alpharetta, Georgia. She just graduated from Berklee College of Music, and she's been mentored by Eric Roberson, and she's currently working on her debut EP with DJ Jazzy Jeff. Now, Lola is fresh off her mini tour from Sofar Sounds. She performed in New York City, Philly, and Atlanta. I'm so excited to welcome Lola to my show, and she is going to be in here momentarily. So, guys, hang tight. Thank you for joining us this evening. Hello, hello. Lola is in the house. Hi, Lola.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can.
Awesome. Lola, thank you so much for coming on my show. I am so honored to have you on.
Hey, thank you for asking me to do something like this. I'm extremely excited.
Yes, I'm so excited to just learn more about your journey in music, your time at Berklee, and what's to come.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So I want to start at childhood. I want to go back to that moment during your childhood and how music impacted you.
Yeah. Man, music has impacted me ever since I was born, and even before then. My mom, she is a singer,
Mm-hmm.
and she sang in kind of like the Glendale Opera in California. That's where she's from.
Cool.
Dad was a DJ and a songwriter for different artists, and my grandmother's a classical pianist. So that's my family dynamic. It's very much cool. And so like I've always been surrounded by Motown. I've always been surrounded by soul music. I've always been surrounded by classical because of my grandma. Different types of music definitely inspired me. But I will say when I was around 5 or 6 years old was when I really got into the nitty gritty of it being something I wanted to do. I was listening to a Jill Scott song, Wondering Why, off of one of her like early albums.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, like I don't think I've ever heard anybody write the way that she did.
Right.
So clear and concise.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever she was talking about, I was very much so aware, even though I didn't know, like I was only 6, but it really inspired me to try writing my feelings down.
Mm-hmm.
And doing what she did with poetry. I was always kind of singing around the house as well. I was very much so a songbird, and that was just normal because of my surroundings. But
yeah,
about around 5 or 6 was when I was like, I'm just gonna write this down. And then I had this talent show when I was like 11 or 12, and sang in front of the whole school and closed my eyes and sang "I'm Ready for Love" by India.Arie, and I opened a standing ovation. And I had these really mean girls who bullied me throughout my middle school life, and they did not bully me for a whole day. After that, they came up to me and were like, "Yeah, you did a great job," and like accolades from the people that bullied me and stuff like that. I was like, okay, wait, so if I can do this, that means that I can shift and change my environment constantly. Maybe for real. And that's when I started like writing nonstop. Every time I got home from school, I would write like 3 songs a day. Music was also a friend to me because I have friends like that. I was really like, I locked myself in my room. Whatever emotion I was going through was just kind of like me, and the pen and my pad were just the conversations I had. I have those friends. I don't know if I needed it. It helped me kind of strengthen my pen and help me find my way. So I would say that's like childhood.
Yeah. Well, wait, so you were writing 3 songs a day?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
have any of them. Like, I don't know. There's like one thing that I feel like I might have. Me and my cousins, like me and my play cousins, we made this group when I was a kid. Yeah. And we bit off of a J-Lo song and wrote this song called Ice Cold, you know, like J the Block.
Yes.
And we wrote like ice cold boy going down. I had no idea. I thought it was the freshest thing in the universe. It's like I got older and I was like, that's definitely Jenny from the block, but but that's like the only thing I have. I really got pieces of paper from like my math book, or like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like what I was doing, and I just did it truly not to, oh, I want to develop a craft or whatever. It was just what I knew how to, like, that's the only thing I knew how to do in regards of writing my emotions, like I or just saying how I felt. I didn't feel like my parents understood, even though who understand. It was just, music was like, just in that moment, it was like just a friend. Even though I want to do this as a career at some point, then it was just like I was just writing because I just had a lot to say, but I just say it or where to kind of put it, so I just kind of put it down.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful that you, from a young age, just were, okay, what do I do with my emotions, my feelings? I'm gonna write them down. And I think the power of journaling and poetry is so awesome.
100%. Oh, 100%. It's definitely very necessary, I would say, for me, because I will say as a kid, I'm still smart, but I was a very smart kid. Yeah. And a kid that really enjoyed people. And when I realized, as I was younger, I was going to elementary school, realized that, you know, kids were mean sometimes. That shattered my entire world of what I thought people were. Before, I was just kind of like chilling by myself or with my parents, my mom or whatever. Like, I played by myself. I didn't really need anyone, but I love and so much. But when I realized that wasn't the case with others, that shattered me. I just didn't know what else to do. And my thoughts were very adult-like, you know, parts of like, how those feelings made me feel. And sometimes also I watched a lot of movies, so some movies I probably shouldn't have been watching as a kid either. Could have you know, affected that. But yeah, it was, you know, I was a very kind of dark kid in regards to how I felt about myself, and how I felt about being alive sometimes, just because of how I just didn't feel like people understood me, or I didn't feel love. So it was a lot of things that I went through, in love and like excitement and happiness, and there's like a lot of different emotions, like all of them. Like, I really kind of understood very young, but I don't know how to express it in words. I could not say it out loud. I just didn't know, but I could write it.
Yeah. And that's very interesting, because I feel like sometimes it is hard to get words out, but then when you write them and you're just like, I'm just writing to like have that release of emotion.
Exactly. I didn't know how that would affect me in regards to how I write music. Because I consider myself someone who's like very emotionally mature. I know exactly what I'm feeling, and I can describe it, and I can write it down, and I can write it in a way that's could seem, you know, if you read it once, it seems kind of like one way, and then you kind of go in between the lines, and it's very deep, and it's very this, and it's very that. So it's just something I've been practicing without being like I practiced it. It was just, you know, it's all I had. It's all I depended on was my pen and my pencil and my pad. That I depended on at that time.
So do you still have all of those journals from back in the day? No?
They're all, like I was saying before, like they're all just, I don't know. Like, I probably threw them away because I was that my mom would see. Because sometimes the poems or the songs are about her. Like,
yeah,
the unfair that I'm grounded and and like I want to run away and like stuff like that. Like, so they're probably scattered somewhere in like some kind of box somewhere. But I really never kept those songs. I should have. I wasn't thinking like that way, but
yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna write it down, and that's all I need. I just write it down and throw it away. Write it down and throw it away.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about your mental health journey and how it comes across in.
Yeah. So my name, like Lola, is my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
My first name is Jasmine, but I was like, I'm not gonna be a Jasmine when there's Jasmine Sullivan that exists in the world. I just didn't think that was smart. I don't
Yeah.
in that name.
Yeah.
I chose Lola. The crazy thing about my name and how I feel about names in general, I feel names are very powerful. How you name your child.
Mm-hmm.
And my first name means God's gift.
Mm-hmm.
And Lola means Lady of Sorrows.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nickname off of Lolita, which is very interesting. But when I think about me as a child, that's kind of me in regards of how sad I was inside, but never show like I was always smiling like I am now. But it was just that was just a part of me. And so I just kind of, when I realized that, I knew that was what I wanted to go forth in my brand in regards of being very bold about the things that I write about, the things that I say. And because I am emotionally mature in a lot of ways, I can, and I have this gift that literally is my name.
Yeah.
Fair to not be bold in some of the concepts that women go through, that Black women go through. I'm a Christian, so that Christian women go through. I think in general, I just, whatever my experiences are that are negative or that are positive or that are deep or that, our lessons or like every shade and color of experience. I want to be the type of artist, producer, and songwriter that is very much so talking about concepts that people do not talk about at all. But song, because that's really how we all process life, is through music. Like, processes life through music. So when there are messages that are anthems for people, I think it's important. And like when it comes to mental health and things like that, it's important for me to include portions of that because I go to therapy now. It's an important aspect of life to sort out what's going on with you. I feel like it's healthy to communicate that in music, and all the shades of that in music. So,
Yeah, I love that about therapy because therapy is so important. Like some people are like, "Oh, I'm going through something, I have to go to therapy." But it's like working out, right? Like we all want to be fit, we all want to be healthy, but you also have to work on your mental too.
it's a muscle.
Exactly.
That's so freaking true because I definitely was the person that was like, I'm not going to therapy. I would say in my community, in my community, I will say it's very like, you're going to therapy because you're crazy. Like, that's like, so you say I'm crazy? Oh, I ain't going to, I don't need therapy. I ain't crazy. But the thing about it is it's super important to life to have someone else help you process stuff. And like for me, before any of that, for having the ability to have therapy, because that's another thing in my community, people don't have money or the to find that, or
Right.
to hold on to that, or keep paying for sessions like that. So I just had music. And you know, that was super important. And me just, you know, understanding and growing and learning and understanding where my place is in the industry, where my place is in the world, and stuff like that. It's just important to be very intentional about how I word things as well in music too, because you know, music is an art form, but for me, it's very much so it moves you. So talking about something in a way that lights a fire to do something harmful, I don't know if that helped or aided you know, your mental health or your, you know, your journey. It more so pulled you back to do something harmful to someone else, or, you know, and music has that level of power in that direction. But if it's turned over into the positive direction, even if it's something negative, I definitely want to be that kind of artist for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes you probably deal with this in therapy when you go to your therapist and then something comes up and you start talking about it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I am so inspired to write about that, or that one line the therapist said clicks with you and you're like, boom, that's part of a song now.
Yeah, my therapist is so mean, and she's not nice. I love her, but she be saying things that's like,
Yeah.
dang it, like I didn't know that, or I didn't want to face that, or like, that's, why would you say that? Because that's so true, you know, about me, or like whatever. It's so like annoying. And I've been in therapy for that long. I think I will say this is like my second month in therapy, so I do be in therapy. But already in those 2 months that I've been with my therapist, I definitely have a notepad of lines that I'm legit, like I could pull up right now and tell you some of the things she told me that is going to be in a song at some point. Yeah. Because it's incredible, the knowledge that, you know, these professionals have.
Yeah. And how they can like shed light on you. Because I know you said like she's mean, but like the thing is, it's like, is that honesty, right? Because it's like, is your best friend gonna say what she said? Is your mom gonna say what she said? You know, is your partner gonna say what she said? But like sometimes, like when you don't know the person and they just hear it from third party, they see it with like clearer vision. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Yeah. And you need that like outside, like, I don't know you source to be like, I'm just giving you what makes sense, because this is what's happening. This is what I see based on my expertise.
Right.
Knowing. And you know, my therapist asks a lot of questions. Like, she asks a lot of questions that I answer myself. And if I about some of those things, that's even the answer. That's like, well, I gotta go pray and get myself together. I need to go write something. I got something with this, because clearly it's not, things ain't working, because, you know, I didn't even notice that. But that's
And then bringing things to the surface, because sometimes it's like we hide things in like the pit of our soul, and then you're like, oh, I haven't talked about that or said that 7 or 8 years, and now it is coming to the surface, and now I know that's the reason that I do XYZ, right?
100%. And I also, I'm going to be 23 in it's June, so in like 2 months I'm going to be 23. I don't want to be a 33-year-old who like is bitter. I would say music helps, but it's not the therapy. Like, therapy is therapy,
Right.
like, music can be an aid to get to a certain point, but already some of the things I've experienced in the music industry you have to be grounded.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed to be protected by incredible people. in the industry, but it's really weird. Some portions of the industry, a lot of portions of it are very weird. As a woman in general, it's just, it can be very just not okay in certain spaces, and you can't read that. It can be very difficult. If you can't read that, you know what to do. And even sometimes it's like, you know, you hear of the unfortunate stories of women being, you know, sexually abused in the studios. You hear stories, you know, all types of stories. And those are facts. Like, those are true stories that have been told to me.
Right.
And so, and even like hints and seeds of people that you know, my discernment's like, we're not going there, because clearly they got motives. Like, DM, I'm not going to your studio at 8 at night or 9 at night. Your studio's your house. That's not happening. So yeah, it's weird. So you gotta have therapy just to get over some of the like hills and valleys of just being in this industry. Like like even the positive things, even like saying the things that you know, taking time to like congratulate yourself for saying yes to this opportunity, or for saying no to this, or, you know, like you said, like therapy is not just for the woes and the sadness. It's all types of stuff. But man, when you're in this industry, I feel like I'm just trying to prepare myself, and I'm already seeing stuff. So not even just personal, but just preparing myself. And when it gets crazy, to have practical tools and making sure that I am treating myself a certain way and protecting myself as much as I can with those tools, you know, so.
Yeah, that's so cool what you said about the ebbs and the flows and how to congratulate yourself and how to set boundaries, right? Because you're in rooms with people and you don't know their intention. Are they a good person? Are they gonna, you know, try to, you know, take credit for something that you did? So you need to prepare yourself. You just never know what somebody is capable of in this industry. And I love that you're 10 steps ahead of everybody else. You're like, I'm just making sure that my mental is good, because when I come in a room, I want to be able to say no confidently, because sometimes people say no is like, oh, you know, this person's stuck up, or that person, whatever, and they should always have to be a yes person. You know what I mean?
That's one of my unfortunate like struggles right now, is saying no. I will say, I can count on one hand how many times I've said no this year. Like, I've said yes to pretty much everybody and everything. When it comes to, you know, certain things, opportunities and things like that. There's a certain like FOMO, like fear of missing out on something. But totally. I think therapy is kind of helping me. Like, my therapist has been like, yeah, you clearly don't have boundaries in certain areas. And in order for you to be successful, and in the mind, as you continue going through this journey, not just life, but in this industry, like, you need to say no, and you need to give yourself some boundaries, because you can't just be letting people just boom, 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 boom.
Exactly. Exactly. I think boundaries are so important in your career, in your personal life, in family life. And I think boundaries is one of those things, like, we all have to work.
100%.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about your time at Berklee College of Music. Yeah. How did this journey start from you? Why did you pick Berklee to attend?
So remember I was telling you the story about when I was singing in the talent show?
Yes. So
12, like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Movie where there was like 3 people that went to music schools. It was HBO. I have not found that movie since. I've been trying to find it, but it was like this one girl that got accepted to Juilliard. Another person got accepted to some music school in Cincinnati, or some kind of school that's popular. And then one kid got accepted to Berklee.
Yeah.
Out of all those 3 kids, the one that was like struggling, it's there was like 2 kids out of the 3 that were struggling and like upset and like wanted to quit. And I'm like, and the kid that went to Berklee is having fun. It's like, you know, all these different things. And I'm like, okay, so I want to to that school. I legit like was doing research and was looking up the schools and stuff like that, and was like, I'm going to this. This is the only school that I'm want to go to. And my senior year, it was the only school I applied to. I didn't do any other schools, and I did get in, but I got in with no scholarship money. It's very expensive. It's Berklee's very expensive, but I did get in, and with my grandmother was selling one of her houses in Idaho that she owned, and she gave me $10,000 towards my schooling because she believed in me that much and said, listen, you're going to need to pay me back at some point, but here's this $10,000 because I love you and I believe in you.
Aww.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, like my grandma is the reason why I went. I would not be able to go without her. And so, yeah, and I went, and those 4 years were very important to just everything, just figuring out my life and where I went to go. I just had a gift. It was never really cultivated. I didn't have a coach, vocal coach, or anything like that. I wanted or viewed Berklee as this place that can help me grow vocally, to help me sing without hurting myself when posture, experience, all the other stuff. And that's kind of how they pushed it. And so, I wanted to go. I went, and I would say a lot of my expectations were not met in different ways. Like my voice is very unique, and a lot of the vocal coaches there were, they're very great, but did not know how to tend to me and teach, because not everybody understands things like the next person. You need to understand how to mold and put in certain exercises or help and aid in direction, with people who have different voices. And the teachers there really didn't know how to handle me in a lot of those ways. But I will say my expectations were exceeded in experience. I experienced a lot. I got to, I think my very first day at Berklee, I was already in a show. I had, there's this kind of program called BSI. It was named something before, but now it's like the Black Scholars Initiative, and it was just for Black students. They took all the Black students in 2017 when I was going to go there for my first year. Took all the Black students and put them into Berklee's campus for a week before anybody got there. And the 60 kids that looked like me from all areas of the world. And we just got to bond. We got to meet our teachers. We had mock classes in different areas. And at the very end, we had like a jam session with certain professors at the school. It was incredible. And that's how the first 7 days of my schooling started. So I'm like, this is like fame. Like, this is like, this is exactly what I wanted to be in. And you have to have like these 2 different audition processes at Berklee. So my second audition, after I got through the first one, was kind of like a placement audition, like, where do we place you type of thing. And the person who was auditioning me was pretty much like the head of the musical theater department. I did musical theater for like 2 years, like junior, senior year before I graduated. And I loved it. I was like I played the Wiz in the Wiz, like the wizard.
Very cool.
I had a green hoodie, I had a green afro. Like it was yes. Yeah, it was perfect. I loved it. And I played Dolores in Sister Act. Yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff. I loved that. So after that audition, he was like, "Oh, you're great. Like, we're doing a show. We're doing Memphis at the school. You want to, get in?" And that's So I kind of started my first day in rehearsals for that. And I was very heavily into the musical theater department. My major was songwriting, and my minor was musical theater performance. So that's kind of all that I was in. Like I had a whole bunch of songwriting classes. I got to meet a whole bunch of people in regards of just being around 500 different countries, you know, right in your face, you know, like Indonesia, like, what? Where? I've never heard of that. So, you know, like just being exposed. So I would say in that regard, I was exposed to so much. I got to, I got to sing for Missy Elliot. I got to dance with her on stage.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Awesome. It was very great. Yeah, it was incredible. I got to sing for Celine Dion virtually. Man, it was just a lot of different things I got to do. I learned I learned that I love performing, and I loved the feeling of being on stage and connecting, and I had like this feeling of, it was just weird. I loved it. Weird. And it was, yeah. So those are things I really learned there. And just some outside stuff too, as well, outside the school. Just a lot of experience, a lot of performing. And at the end of that, they kicked us out because of COVID.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So I didn't have my senior year at all. My senior year was taken from me. So was my graduation was taken from me. So it was a lot of crazy stuff going on, but the beauty in those ashes was meeting Eric Roberson.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a Berklee teacher. He's also someone I listened to ever since I was 9. So I was very shocked to see that he was here. I'm like, what? So, and even to give context with that, so like your very last year at Berklee as a songwriting major, you get to like pick any songwriting teacher to have a mentorship with. And when I was at the availabilities, he was one of those teachers, and I freaked out. That's my dad walking across.
Oh, hi,
Dad. But yeah, so it was really, really cool. It was really cool, and we got to meet virtually. It was supposed to be a 2-hour class, ended up being a 4-hour class. And I showed him a song that I was working on, and he said, whatever you want me to do, I'm here for you. And it ended up being incredibly amazing, and we worked on a lot of stuff, and I ended up interning with him before I graduated virtually. And yeah, it was great. We had a great time. It was great. And my graduation, by graduation last August, I was already working. Like I was already having certain meetings. He's an independent artist, so I was in his meetings. I was listening in on all the different things he was doing, the important pieces of being independent. I was traveling, and this is all before graduation.
Very cool.
So I've been moving ever since. And after I graduated, that's kind of when he introduced me to Jazzy Jeff. And that's a whole nother different story. That is kind of propelled. But that was like my Berklee journey. It was a lot of experience and meeting a lot of amazing people, learning myself, being in debt. My debt is crazy. I can't even tell you the kind of debt that's gonna be hanging on me for a while. Hopefully not as long as others will be. But yeah, a lot of amazing opportunities to meet people and to connect. I found my vocal teacher through Eric. So
cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like if I didn't go to Berklee, I wouldn't have met him. And even though that was all the way towards the end, I don't regret any decision I made of any kind of what I majored in, the experiences I had, the failures I've had. Yeah, it's just, it brought me to this point. So
yeah.
long,
And I love
long.
that. Yeah, and I love that you said that you have been listening to him since 9, and then you had an opportunity to work with him at Berklee. Like, what? That's so cool.
I will say prayer works. I very much so wanted to give up during that pandemic, and I wanted to stop singing. I ended up having, I was diagnosed with nodules. And if anyone knows what nodules are or don't know what nodules are, they are like bumps on your vocal cords. Right. And yeah, it took 2 octaves away from me as far as my voice, my range. I couldn't speak within, a matter of 60 seconds. Even 60 seconds was a lot. It was bad. So, I just asked God, I said, if I need some signs, because I'm about to drop out and I'm about to quit. And a few days after that was when that class ended up being available. So, I will say, for me, prayer works. Yeah, no, that was crazy though. I wouldn't have ever imagined it being him. He's been the legit key, or at least the door, and the key for me to have all these experiences I'm having now. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah. And I love how you were already working before you graduated, because I feel like sometimes when people graduate, they're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Oh my gosh, I'm so scared to like go in the real world. But you had already been working. So you were just like, okay, done with school. Like, I'm all in, baby.
I didn't want that. I was, okay. So here's the thing about Berklee. And we're not bashing Berklee at all. We're not bashing Berklee. But I will say that a lot of my peers dropped out, like sophomore year, junior year. A lot of people that I knew wanted to quit music because of how Berklee's environment is. There's a lot that we had to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, Ashley, I learned how to conduct. I learned about tonal harmony, counterpoint. I learned about ear training. I learned 4 levels of ear training, 4 levels of harmony. Oh my God. Like, and I think about that, like, that's very excessive. I don't know how I even got through that, but a lot of levels of learning that kind of makes it like, man, I thought music was like about feeling and love. But it's like, there's a science to it that there are people that follow those rules, and those songs end up being hits, or, and it's like, I mean, these formulas are great, but it's also like, you can miss the love of it. You can miss the heart that comes with just opening your mouth and singing or writing or playing an instrument. But those tools are necessary in order to learn how to break them, which is what I'm learning now. Like, okay, I do have some advantages in the room with knowing certain languages and knowing how to speak, or at least if I don't know how to speak the language, I understand the language, and how to kind of be in those spaces and kind of, be in that lane, so.
Totally. So you graduated last year, and
I did.
now it's almost a year later, which is crazy. So tell me about life after birth.
Yeah, so I'm very blessed. I will say that how it works for a lot of people is not how it's not how my life is right now. Like a lot of my peers are like still working in certain jobs, and like a CVS, or
Yeah.
Hustling and making a name for themselves in their city, and they kind of have to start from scratch. I'm very blessed to have the back door kind of experience, to where I don't have any music out right now, but I have so much music in this laptop. Yeah. And and the practices that I've been instilling since I was like 5 or 6. that, you know, when that opportunity, the door of opportunity came, I think I was just ready to open it. And that opportunity ended up Eric. And he just really opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
I will say he's like a preacher. Like he has a lot, like he's like a deacon, like he has a lot of like words of wisdom. That's like you should open your church. But he's a lot of things to me. I think one of the things that he said to me is you know, you're no different than a her or you know, the people I love, just God, he's a soul child. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, what's gotten them from being in their hometown or sweeping floors or doing whatever was that one person that was there at that moment saw them.
Yeah.
From wherever they were to the next level. All you really need is someone who sees you.
Right.
You just need to be seen. There's a lot of creative, incredible people that are not being seen right now. Because of circumstance, because of finance, because of lack of knowledge, or you know, the list goes on. But I've definitely been blessed to be seen, and Eric was the first person, if not really the only person, who invested in me when he saw me. Because you can also be seen, but like not be invested in.
Yeah.
And, that one-on-one class that we had, I saw where it could be. I felt like I would never have that opportunity again.
Right.
And like, so can I intern for you? like, you know, wherever the door is, like I'm just trying to open it. And so you know, I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, so life after Berklee, yeah, it was really that. I spent 9 months to 10 months with him, virtual, and like I said, I was interning with him and was attending his business meetings. He owns his own label, so it's really cool seeing someone who writes for other people, writes for himself, has a business for himself, has a family where all of that is supporting that family. And I got a very personal inside look, not just on his, not just like with his business, but as a man, you know, like a human being. I got to really see who he is and who he was at that time, and it really inspired me. I lived with him for a week. I got to experience that and work with him. I would say he mentored me in a way that wasn't like he didn't look at my words or what I was writing and coached me in how to write. The only thing that he wanted to do was to pretty much remind me that I'm ready, and pretty much give me the battery in my back. And you know, he played A&R and brought me to different people and allowed me to meet different people and communicate with amazing artists and producers and DJs like DJ Jazzy Jeff. Right. And so, that happened, and we talked for 5 hours, me and Jazzy Jeff, and I cried. It was really awesome. And after that, I had Jeff's number for like 6 months. Was still working with Eric, but that was coming to an end. I felt needed to end at least, that I was ready to kind of go, you know, on my own and kind of start developing myself. And I reached out to him, to Jeff one day, about a song that I was producing and making. And I sent it to him just so, you know, just to get some inspiration, just to know, like, is there anything that I can do better? Yeah. And he texted me back the next day, and he was like, oh my gosh, can you send me the stems? Mind you, this was like January of this year.
Yeah.
And that next day I ended up getting COVID. So I couldn't even go in and like do anything that I really wanted to do. But
yeah.
I sent him the files and he mixed it and sent it back to me, and I almost cried. I've never heard myself that way before.
Yeah.
I can only do so much with the resources I have. So, you know, him sending that to me like hours later, I think I was like, I want to keep doing this. I, you know, and so like, though I had COVID that whole month, I had COVID that whole month.
Oh my gosh.
I had COVID once, was healed. The next week after that, I had COVID again. And
Wow.
that month, we started sending stuff back and forth. I would make something, I would produce something, I would write something, I would sing something within my own situation. I would send it to him, he'll mix it, and then send it back to me. And we kept doing that. He had beats, he sent me beats. I'll write over and sing over it, send it to him the next day. And I'm not saying like an idea, I mean like the song is done.
Right.
And it's mixed. And so we kept doing that, and this amazing, incredible producer, not from this planet, his name is Kaidi Tatham.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the UK area. He's incredible. He's awesome. And met him through Jeff, and then he had stuff. He was sending me stuff, and then we all three were just like, we should just kind of be a group. And so we're working on that now, of just kind of becoming a group, and that's going to be an amazing thing that's happening really soon. But yeah, so that's January and February. I was doing a lot of shows at home. I opened for Eric Roberson at Atlanta, and that really helped me in Atlanta just to kind of start doing performances here and there. And then I left Atlanta, went to Jeff's house for a month and a half, and you know, we just started making music, and met a whole bunch of different people. James Poyser, who's like responsible for a lot of people's careers, a whole bunch of different people, just a whole bunch of amazing like behind the scenes people, not people that are like the artists, but people who have, you don't understand, like Jeff, there would be no Jill Scott, there would be no Misa Soulchild, there would be no D'Angelo, there would be no, I mean, I can name a lot of people. There wouldn't be no neo soul without Jeff.
Yeah.
And realize that, but you know, he's not just a DJ, like he's a producer, he's an incredible engineer. He had the A Touch of Jazz, which is like legendary, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Same person who discovered Jill, you know, has, you know, also in me. And yeah, that's what's really been going on this year. It's just a lot of that, just like preparing for the things that I'm gonna release next year. Getting my brand together, getting, you know, the songs tight, doing performances. I just got done doing Sofar tour situation, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And now we're here. So it hasn't been a year yet since I graduated, but it's almost been a year, and that's all that I really have not had a break.
Yeah.
I have moved since graduation. I was moving before graduation, and I'm like here, and I'm like, you know, like I have like a week available to like breathe. I'm like, this is not normal. Like I have a week of time. That's weird. I haven't had that for almost a year. So yeah, that's it's a lot, but that's kind of what's been going on.
I love it though, because I think it's like the power of networking, right? Because you were with Eric, and then your time with him ended, but you met Jeff through Eric, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, Jeff introduced you to all these people, and you had a good vibe going with Jeff, and he was sending you stuff, and you were sending him stuff. Like, whoa, this just works.
Yeah.
Like so effortlessly. You're like, oh my gosh, where have you been my life, Jeff?
Seriously. Seriously, I'm so grateful that there's someone who understands what I'm doing right now. And again, like this is so weird. Like this is happening like in the back like I want to make it known, like I there's nothing out. I mean, there's like a collab that I have out right now called Workers Comp that I did with a really good friend, Bethel. That's in my link in my bio if you guys want to listen to that. But like as far as Lola Vialet, her songs, her music, like that's not out yet. And that alone, kind of having all of these people not only co-sign where I think I want to go, but also invest, that is very rare, and I do not take that lightly. I'm just very grateful to build this way, because I've seen and had so many conversations with people, and it's like I know now what I want to take with me or want to take with me. It's just a lot of things I'm learning, and I'm just extremely grateful for that.
Yes. Yeah, and I love what's going on for you. So you just finished the Sofar mini tour. Talk to us about that. What was it like being in New York and Philly and Atlanta and just being in front of these people and seeing how they respond to your music?
Yes. So I want to just give a shout out to Yael Sante, who was in here. I don't know if she's in here anymore, but she is an incredible artist, incredible songwriter. She also is a hustler. Okay. She works for Sofar. For Atlanta, and that's how I was able to get in contact with the people over there. And I don't know, I needed to perform more. It's very hard to perform. It's very hard for people to get you, like, take you serious in Atlanta. I'm like from the area, but like, if you're not popping, or if you don't have certain amount of stripes, like working in the city, or, if you're not really known like that in the city, there's a lot of like freebies you do. Like, it's a lot of like shows that you do that are really might not be the best times, might not be the best environments, might not be the best this. And I was doing a good chunk, like a good amount of those. And I didn't want to do those anymore. Like I wanted to start getting some kind of money, start getting paid for, all of the work. I mean, when I perform, I play instruments. I buy equipment. I plug myself up. If I need to record my own performances, I do that. It's just a lot that, as an independent artist, we have to do. And so when that's not like matching in respect and or compensation, it's difficult. So I just wanted to do something and be a part of something that was more credible. And I applied, and they loved it. They loved it, and they usually are like, okay, you should probably do a show in your city. But they were like, they approved of all the days and all the dates and all the locations. Very cool. Gave me like times, and it's very easy to set up. It was very easy to set up for me. So it's fun. It was fun. Philly was probably my favorite. I love LA, but I love Atlanta. I do love Atlanta. It was fun, but Philly feels like a home cooked meal. Feels like Sunday morning. Feels like cornbread, and I don't eat chicken anymore, but it feels like, chicken and ribs, and like it feels like a cookout. Everything just feels like home. So that was a very fun thing for me. But New York was sold out. Both shows were sold out. And it's great. It was a great way for me to, like, it's a great way for me to sing some of the songs that I've been, holding on to for a really long time. And it's fun. Intimate spaces make me so nervous. I have really bad, I wouldn't say it's extremely severe anxiety, but my anxiety is very much so visible, depending on the situation. Like, you can see me shake sometimes. So I knew I needed to do with Sofar shows, because they're very small. Like bigger stages, I'm not nervous. But there's a lot of people, I'm not nervous. I'm like, listen, it's like a show to me. It's like I'm in a musical. I just need to put the hat on. I need to put the Lola hat on, and that's fine. But if it's like a few people and they're just kind of staring, you know, like, you know, I'm like, nah, like you're looking at me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was I needed to do it. And I didn't realize how you know, just taking charge of what you felt like you were ready for,
right,
and taking charge of that and just doing that, and how people would respond to that. I got some messages where people was like, thank you for, like, you put a battery in my back and doing something like this, because I thought I needed to be at a certain status to create and you know, my own tour or lead in this, and you just inspired me to just do it. And you know, I'm doing it. You know, I'm doing the things that, you know, when I was a kid, I would dance in my mirror and kind of like pretend I was doing. Like, I'm doing that. So and I'm actively building that. It's crazy that I'm living like my 6-year-old, 7-year-old dreams right now, even though I'm at a certain place that I would want to be. I'm still living it. So yeah, so far definitely has helped me tremendously get to certain points and mark certain things on my before I die list. So yeah, I love it. I'm doing more shows with Sofar. I'm definitely doing more shows this year with Sofar. So yeah.
Heck yeah, I love that. So talk to us, what is to come for the rest of 2022? What do you have cooking over?
Yeah, so yes, I am just collecting. I'm collecting. I take music very seriously now. When I was a kid, like, it was just a thing I did, but I take it very seriously now, to the point to where I don't want to just put music out.
Yeah.
I don't want to just do that. So, you know, in the meantime, I've been vocal producing projects, you know, people's EPs, people's albums. I've been writing songs for different artists. Yay. I can't say yet the artists that I've written for, but I'm very shocked that this is where I'm starting in that lane. Trying to be around people who are better than me when it comes to everything, especially in production. I want to get very skilled in that. I'm already kind of going in, like, people are seeing me as a songwriter. And a vocal arranger, which I am. And it paused a little bit. I'm trying to see what's going on.
No worries. Okay. Yep, you're good. Okay. I hear you when I see you.
Okay, perfect. I have to like readjust my life. We love this. This is the real. This is what we live for. Okay. I'm trying not to do it this way because, like, that's just so whack to me. Yeah. Uh-oh. Forgive me. I'm legit in a hotel. Okay. Are we good? Are you hearing me still?
Yep, we're good to go.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah. So pretty much just building that, and, you know, get my ducks in a row, and, you know, getting my name out there as different things, because I do different things. You know, just doing that in the meantime. But I definitely plan on releasing music next year for sure. I will release a single this year, a song that I've been working on for, at this point, 2 years. I've been working on this song for a really long time. And it's been revised like 5 different times. The lyrics changed like different times. I mean, it's crazy at this point, but you know, I want to try to release something this year. If not this year, I have a whole rollout plan I'm developing and getting together for next year. So I'm definitely releasing. You're gonna hear my name in a lot of credits coming up this year. I've already, you know, some of my collabs are starting to release now. Of the things and the music that I've been collabing and collaborating with different artists, is starting to release now. So yeah, I'm getting really excited. And what's been happening behind the scenes, and it's now kind of spilling out. So yeah, I would say that's it. I would say, you know, we are preparing, and we are preparing for and locking and loading. So when we're ready to go, we're just gonna go. And so yeah, 2023 is 100% thing, like January 2023 for sure.
Awesome. So lots of good stuff to come, music, songwriting credits, stuff that Lola cannot say right here, but we will find out very soon.
Yes, 100%.
Awesome. So Lola, that's all the questions I have for you this evening. But guys, don't go anywhere because Lola's gonna sing for us.
Yay! Yes, I am.
It's all you, girl. Take it away.
Okay, so I am, like I said, in a hotel setting. I've been traveling a lot, and don't have my guitar with me, but usually that's my girl. She's with me everywhere, but that's okay. We have tracks, and we're gonna play some tracks, and we're gonna sing over these tracks. So the first song is a song that I sing everywhere and anywhere I have opportunity to sing. This is one of my favorite songs. Yeah, this song is called Orange Moon by Eric Baldu. I love her, Queen. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. And I played all these chords and created all these things that you're gonna hear. So I'm an orange moon. I'm an orange moon, reflecting the light of my sun. La, 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 la. Many nights he was alone. Many, many, many nights. But his light was too bright, so they turned away, and he stood alone every night and every day. But he smiled at me. He saw his reflection in me. And he smiled at me when he turned to me. And he said to me, how good it is, how good it is, how good it is, how good it is. Oh, I'm an orange moon. I shine brighter than before, brighter than ever before. I'm an orange moon, and I can shine so bright, as I reflect the light over my soul. I'll praise the day you turned my way as you smiled at me. I get to smile and I get to be orange. Na na na, but it ain't how good it is, how good it is, how good it is, how good, yeah. He rose the day and I rule the night. How good it is, 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 yes, how good it is, how how God he is. He rules the day and I rule the night. Yeah. Oh, God. He is. Won't you see me? Shine at me. Yeah.
Lola, oh my gosh, I loved it. It was so beautiful.
Thank you. It's one of my favorites. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes. And your next song?
Yes. So this next song is actually mine. So this one is awesome. This is one about love. This is a really fun song I did with me and really amazing artist Amir. He's an incredible rapper, incredible mind. And I asked him to do some awesome things with me at the end. But since he's not here with me, it's just gonna be me. The song I produced, Jazzy Jeff mixed, Kitey did his little awesomeness into it, put some strings in there, and he's crazy. This is like an acoustic version.
Yeah.
Love at First Sight. So yeah. I remember the first time I saw your face. It was golden like the sun. A warm embrace. When we first locked eyes, I knew you'd be mine. Your smile said it all, your heart said it all. But it's so strange that through our first exchange, I'd feel this way. If I had to explain how I feel, I'd relate it to a movie scene where the guy meets the girl and the girl falls in love at first sight. They fell in love at first sight. Can you take a chance to believe that maybe this is something real? Where the guy meets the girl and the girl falls in love at first sight. They call it love at first sight, love at first sight. You were made fit for a dream, so heavenly, so heavenly. And you pulled me into your charm. It spoke to me, made me believe that when we first kissed, I knew this was it, yeah. Oh, but it's so strange that before I knew your name, I feel this way, this way. If I had to explain how I feel, I'll relate it to a movie scene, yeah. Where a guy meets the girl and the girl falls in love at first sight. They call it love at first sight. Can you take a chance to believe that maybe this is something real, yeah? Where the guy meets the girl and the girl falls in love at first sight. They call it love at first sight. First sight. First sight. First sight. Seems like in another life, you and I have been here before. So familiar and so new. Like you and I have been here before. I might sound delirious, this sounds crazy, but can you have my babies? I know we just met, but I don't say or he say or she say, no, cause I'm in love you anyway. Just like in the movie time. Okay, probably like 2 times to one. Well, you know you're on mine. It was love at first sight. I like it when they say, or he say, or she say, no, cause I'ma love you anyway. Just like in the movie, I know you met 1 time. Yeah. Okay, probably like 2 times to one. Boy, you know you're on mine. It was love at first sight, love.
Lola, that was so amazing. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Such a beautiful song. I had a couple comments I wanted to read. Carrie says, pretty lady and song. Philly Judges goes, yes. Carrie goes, love it. And
Thank
Philly Judges says, dance.
It's one of my songs. I love the song. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, a jam. Beautiful. Guys, thank you so much for your comments. So Lola, do you have some time for some questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Cool. Sure. Guys, if you're in this room right now, the beautiful people in this room, if you have questions for Lola, put them in the comments section below. What does success mean to you?
Ooh, I love this question. Sidebar. This question was a hard question. And this question Eric asked me when I was in Berklee, when I was a student, he was a teacher.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. It's a difficult question to ask, but it really depends on you. What I learned is success, is subjective. Like it depends on you. I would say success for me is doing everything that I've ever dreamed of doing and more. Mm-hmm. I believe that everybody is born with a gift. It doesn't always have to be in this way. It can be in another. type of way. And we all have starting colors, whether it's a red or it's a blue, depending on which primary color you want to be.
Yeah.
But I think it's our job to mix those and create new ones. It's our job to have and multiply our gifts to the biggest and widest capacity. I used to think the sky's the limit, but I think I heard an Instagram post, and I feel like it was Alicia Keys. I love her. It was Alicia Keys, and one of her Instagram posts was like, the sky should not be the limit.
Yeah.
There's no limit.
Yeah.
Beyond, like, go beyond. And so that's for me. I've said this before. I very much so admire Quincy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Not just by being an incredible artist and an incredible everything that he went into, production. He went into the entertainment and TV industry. He tackled movies. He did literally everything that you could possibly do in the entertainment field. And I want to be a female version of him in regards to doing everything that I've always wanted to do. I don't necessarily want to do everything that he did.
Yeah.
I just want to do everything that I know I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can close my eyes and take my last breath knowing that I accomplished everything,
mm-hmm.
and that's success for me.
Yeah. Oh, beautifully said. I love it. Okay, so this person, I think I'm going to botch up their name, but I like the question. I think it's the Collier says, what advice would she give to her younger self?
Oh man, I was so stressed out. I was like, and that's our generation. Like, my generation is like very much so we need it now. And so when it's not happening now, it's like,
yeah,
we're stressed out and we think it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an overthinker. So I think past, present, and future at the same time.
Yeah.
And then like, like future, and then past, and the present. I'm just all over the place. Yeah, that's Cyril. Yeah.
Cyril. Okay, sorry. I was looking at the screen name and I didn't know what it was.
I was like, but then yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's my best friend. Love you. So yeah, I will definitely say, like, girl, relax. It's gonna make sense, and you just have to kind of chill out. I would tell myself to, like, really chill out.
Yeah.
I really was very much so stressed about everything in life and thought way too much into what was going on. So yeah, I would tell myself to just relax. It's gonna, what you prayed for is gonna come to pass, but you just have to, like, allow things to happen, and you just need to, like, relax.
Yeah, and trust the process, because, like, you're being led on this journey, and it's like you're gonna have these ups and downs, and you just smile and you keep on trucking.
Yeah, we don't choose this. I feel like I didn't choose my family. Like, I could have had, like, a basic normal family that worked in, I don't know, finance or something, which is not basic at all, but you know what I mean? Like I could have did something different.
Yeah.
And that would have shifted and changed what I was doing. Like, I didn't ask for that, like, we don't ask for it. We just have to, if we're down to accept what's already given to us, we just got to accept it and then move forward.
Totally.
I'm trying to, remind myself that, but yeah.
Trust
the process.
Definitely. So Lola, do you have any final words for the room?
Yeah, I saw a lot of, like, people I used to go to school with, which was really cool. Like, all my Berklee alum friends and people I used to go to school with. Hey guys, my best friends here. Some people that I saw follow me, which is incredible. Yeah, you guys just stay tuned. I really appreciate everybody from coming in and out or staying the whole time with all these weird technical difficulties. My phone is acting crazy. I can tell my phone's acting crazy because it's been acting crazy on my side. So hopefully you guys have been hearing things. Hopefully you guys have been hearing me. But yeah, just definitely tune in to my Instagram. You can go ahead and follow me at Lola Vialet VLA. I have a lot of amazing stuff that I have put. Some arrangements of some things that I do that I love to do are on there. Some behind the scenes of some things I've been working on is there. So yes, keep up with things that I'm doing, and I would love to see you guys at future shows. Ashley, thank you for this interview. This is a lot of fun. I'm literally stuck in this hotel room, so the fact that like I get to do something like this is like it's like curing my anxiety of like not doing anything. So thank you for like wanting to talk to me, and I really appreciate what you've been doing, especially for like Berklee alum.
Yeah.
I saw the interview you did with Demoye, so yeah. I thought that was really dope, and so I really appreciate keeping up with us and the people that the outliers in the school that the bright lights in the school that are trying to make a name for ourselves and do things that we love. So thank you for doing what you love, and having me on here, and this was a lot of fun. So thank you so
Lola,
much.
thank you so much for your kind words. I love incredible musicians. I love the Berklee fam, like the people who have gone to Berklee, whether you're currently there, you're an alum. I love all the Berklee fam. You guys have been some of my best interviews. And Lola, please, anytime you want to come on the show, you have something to promote, you want to talk music, you just want to, come on and hang out, please come back to my show, because I truly enjoy fun.
Yes, that will 100% happen. When my EPs and singles start dropping, I'm definitely like sending you emails and
definitely
text you, like, we got to do some more of these for sure.
Text me, email me, come on over and you'll do the show again. And I'm so excited to have you back when you're ready. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Lola. She has a lot of good stuff coming out. The EP is coming out next year. Give her a follow, show her some love, and give us both a follow. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And give my girl Lola a follow. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Support good music. Be safe. Be kind. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.